YouTube. Got the Mustang where I like it. Reliable, runs and drives. Got maybe another few weeks, probably maybe 4 weeks at most. Because we're halfway through September, that it'll be able to be driven without, usually around here, around Thanksgiving is when we get some snow, sometimes in October, but usually around Thanksgiving. So technically, as long as it doesn't snow, we'll be okay. You can drive a car around here, something that you care about, that you don't want to get rust on. Okay, once you get that first snow, do not pull your sports car, whatever your fun car, right? Your classic, whatever. Once the first snow comes, it's a wrap. It's got to be parked. It's got to be put away. No transporting or nothing. Okay, unless you're doing enclosed trailer, back it up to the garage or whatever, load it on there where it doesn't touch nothing, and then you can back it in somewhere where it doesn't touch the ground. Right, but around here, that spent brine and that salt they put on there, absolutely not. Once I'm saying it either needs to stay in a spot where there ain't gonna be no salt, or it needs to be parked before that first snow. So we got another couple weeks. Where I'm at with it, it runs and drives. I swapped the wheels out already. I painted the car. I fixed the vapor lock issue. I got my tune. I street tuned it myself. Got the AFRs dialed in. Got everything dialed in on the car. At this point, the only thing I need to do is replace the front brakes. Really, I'd probably just upgrade the whole brake system to some drilled and slotted rotors, some Brembo 4-piston or whatever, something a little more stout, but otherwise the brakes are fine on it. And then really my next step is just to turbo it, to be honest with you, and that's what I'm going to do over the winter time. Is I found a set of LS3 headers for $50 on Facebook that I can so I'm going to take the long tubes off. I'll probably sell them, or I'll save them for something else, I don't know, or maybe trade for something else, I don't know. And I'm going to put the LS3 headers on, flip them, right, so it faces the front, and then I'll weld a custom wide pipe turbo. So I'll do that over the winter time, and then yeah, right now I'm kind of just focused on getting my garage set up for winter time, because what I plan on doing over the winter time is more going to be over fab work. So I've never really talked about it. I'm an auto mechanic by trade / plumber / landscaper. That's what I enjoy. I know some electrical and stuff like that, but overall I consider myself a tradesman. I'm always learning, always trying to, for me, that's just what I like. I like to work with my hands, and I like to work with equipment and tools. That's what I like. I've done the office job. Industrial maintenance manager for a few years and stuff like that. And with the paperwork, no thanks. Ordering parts and stuff like that, no problem. But keeping up with the whole corporate and the audits and all that, I'm not interested in something like that. I'm not interested in being a manager in somebody else's company. I would rather have my own company and then hire a manager to deal with that type of stuff. The safety, a lot of the stuff in the corporate world, a lot of people, in this market nowadays, jobs get slashed. Once the jobs get slashed, it just becomes more work on the managers and the supervisors, right? And so, no thanks. Anyways, that's beside the point. I'm a tradesman. I enjoy that. I love all that. The hardscaping, plumbing, electrical, automotive, fabrication. Anyways, where I was going with this, I'm getting off track. I don't want to be ranting here. I went to trade school for automotive technology. My first trade, though, was welding. That's what I wanted to do. I couldn't get into it. So I actually went to Job Corps at 16 years old. And so with welding, they had truck driving and stuff like that. You have to be at least 18. So my mother would not let me get into welding because she was like, "Oh, you're gonna go blind in 5 years." And, that's just what, So I never really got into it, but I've purchased 2 welders. If you look back at one of my videos from probably 5-6 years ago, the first welder I purchased was a Chicago Electric one. I think it's an 80 amp or 125. I bought it for like $80, I think it was, pre-COVID. And I just never really got into it that much. It's a flux core. The welds didn't look great, but they held up for what it was. I didn't have any real big plans with it, and I think I ended up selling it or trading for something else. Now I have a titanium flux 125 I've had for probably a year or 2, and I've actually gotten a little bit better. I've done a few lap joints, I've done a couple T-joints, some butt welds, some just bare metal, just beads, some flat beads. I've tried different positions. I've done some pipe welding. I've welded up the exhaust. I've done some chair, like lawn chair repair. And so I've gotten a little bit better with flux core. Now that I have a little bit better machine too, and I put a little bit more time into understanding. But there's still a lot more. I'm not a welder by any sorts, but I've always loved the idea of race cars and just fabrication and that type of stuff, like custom type work like that. I've always wanted to be a part of it. And so to me, I sponsor myself like most people do. They sponsor themselves through their job. If it's their hobby, whatever they like to do, they're going to get a job and they're probably going to try and make as much money as they can so they can afford to do what they like on their own time, right? And so that welder I may be doing, I kind of want to pass it to my brother, one of my brothers, but I wouldn't mind doing like a giveaway with it. So I just ordered a new welder for myself because I got more into TIG welding and stick welding when I got into the industrial maintenance. And so I really won't do much stick welding, to be honest with you, but I bought a multi-process machine, a Yes Welder off of Amazon, so that'll be in on Tuesday. I'll do a review and kind of show you guys. I bought everything for it. I bought so it's a MIG welder, it's a TIG welder, a stick welder. I did buy a torch, a TIG torch kit. I did not buy a spool gun because I want to try with the you can go the spool gun route, and you cannot TIG aluminum with this machine. If you want something like that, you really have to step it up to, I believe it's an AC TIG machine. This is only a DC pulse and a DC. I'm not too. I've done some TIG work, like stainless at work, so because we mainly only use stainless in that industry, in the food industry. So I don't plan on doing too much stainless other than exhaust, but really most of the stuff I'm going to be doing is like mild steel for exhaust, just cheap, just to kind of get my feet wet more with the welding. I do have an intercooler kit that I may end up cutting up, and that's kind of why I stepped up to this machine, because it's going to allow me to do a lot more. It opens up the door for a lot more processes that I can do. So I'll show you guys that when that comes in. I'll show you, everything that it comes with, stuff like that, and we'll do a couple weld tests, and I'm excited to get that thing. Now I also have a plasma cutter that should be in today. That one I bought for the CNC table. Because I've also wanted a CNC. I've always kind of looked at it, thought about it, so I got a plasma cut. It's called a Best Arc 500 XP, I believe it is. It's CNC ready to go. So hopefully it should work. Right now I'm headed about 3.5 hours up north right now to go pick up a Langmuir. I believe it is a Langmuir. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it is a. He wants $1,550. I'm picking it up for $1,300. It is the personal table, but it has all the upgraded options. And so it's got the extension. It's got the extension pack. It's got the torch height controller and the Z-axis assembly, which is an extra $550. It's already got the water pan. So all in all, for $1,300 to option it out and buy it brand new directly through the supplier's website, Langmuir. I'll attach some images. It's like, and then after shipping and then the tax, all in all, you're about $3,000. Like right at $3,000, maybe a little bit more after shipping and tax and everything to option the machine out like this. So for $1,300 and probably $75 worth of gas for me to drive up there and back, I think it's worth the gamble for $1,300. There's a few options I was looking at. I did purchase the plans from JD's Garage to build my own, so I will build my own table eventually, but I want to get something going, get the shop set up, and I want to get that going so I can kind of get more experience with the, with the software. So for me, I think for $1,300 and the convenience, this is the only one I could find within, Minneapolis is about 4 hours from me. Omaha, you know what I'm saying? Anything major around here, there's none for sale that are going to be in that range. Everything else is like $10, $20, $30, $40,000 machines that I see online. So this, he said he had another guy that was interested tomorrow. I said, look, I'll come up today and get it from you, man. Hey, because I ain't coming tomorrow. So you want to make a deal, I can come today. And so he wants to do that. So we'll take a look at it. I'm not going to film, but I'll show you guys the machine once I get it loaded up and stuff like that. I'm super excited to get this. I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff coming. Gives guys something to do over the winter time. I mean, winter time's a long time around here. Probably 6 months. It's cold. For the next 6 months, it's going to be cold. I mean, it gets brutal. Fall, winter. Fall, is not too bad, but winter time. And that last bit of fall and that early spring, it's pretty cold around here. So you guys gotta have a shop, gotta have something to do. More like skiing and snowmobiling and ice fishing, and I've done none of that stuff. I wouldn't mind trying it out. Anyways, I'm kind of just rambling on at this point, but we got some updates I'm gonna show you once I get it. That's what I was going to say. The option that I was looking at was, there's one on Alibaba. There's another guy I was watching. You can get that machine for about $600. List price, like $598 on Alibaba. You're gonna pay about $300 for shipping. All in all, it'll be about $1,000 because you still gotta pay tax. So it's about $1,000. Chinese machine. It's basically ready to go out of the box from what the guy had in his video. I was thinking about that, but the lead time is, I know he got his in like a week. Mine, when I went on there, it was showing the lead time like, I think 2 or 3 weeks. Or no, it was showing like December. That's like a couple months. We're halfway through September, so that's like 3.5 months. About $1,000. You know, you know, for $1,000, I mean, I think this is probably my best opportunity right now. So I'm spending extra $300, $400. I'm gonna drive up here and go pick this one up. Name brand. Yeah, he basically just ended up buying a bigger Langmuir machine, and so with the lowdown, go check it out. Thanks for watching. Saying like 2 hours, maybe another hour and a half. Okay, this is the next day. I made it back, got everything unloaded, and that's pretty much about all I did. Gave it a quick wipe down. But what we got is he said this is the XL version. The serial number, I'm not sure what generation this is. I'd imagine it's probably a Gen 1. It's definitely been used, but it is a 28 by 44. So it's definitely bigger than the personal. So I don't know if when he meant the XL, he meant the XR. I'm not sure. But measuring the axes, where you can see the rail marks are. This one doesn't have limit switches, but it looks like it goes so if we go from here to there, we got 42 inches, about 43 inches. And if we go from here to about here, we got 28 inches, and you can see about where it stops. So we're gonna fire it up quick. I downloaded the software last night. I did wipe the rails off. I'm gonna get some more WD-40. I want to clean the bearings up. I'm just gonna get it cleaned up first, and then we'll go from there. So let's hook up the laptop on the Crossfire Pro, or not Crossfire Pro, Fire Control. So let's go into here. I got it plugged in. So as far as cables go, we have, I believe this is going to be for a torch-type controller to plug in, which I have over there. So this will be out of the way for now until I hook that up. It's already got the motor and the axis hooked up there. So before I hook it up, what I'm gonna do is go to the not the axe. It's too early. I got like 5 hours of sleep. Let me close this out. I found a nice little template there already on their FireShare on the website. But what you need to do is, if you're buying one of these used, you need to go straight to the website and just get the software. So you go to Langmuir Systems and look at all the downloadable stuff. Okay. Now it tells you to check the serial number. Unfortunately, this one is not. They're not engraved in there. It's a sticker, like every other industrial machine that I've seen. Dang near, which is kind of unfortunate. They don't engrave it in there. So I tried to look. I can't tell what the serial number is. So I downloaded the latest version of Fire Control. So what I'm gonna do is plug in our USB. Dang, it's not even turned on. Oh, it is turned on. Okay. Oh, I didn't think it was turned on, but yeah, it's turned on. Okay, so even with it being on, once you plug it in, it'll automatically hook up. So what's new? Langmuir Systems is pleased to release a new beta version of fire control for all Crossfire CNC plasmas. This update includes compatibility updates, performance increases, stuff like that, manual program. So yeah, looks like we're good. Now what you can do is just run this off of the keys. So I'm super excited. I'm getting this. As you can see, everything works pretty good. So I'm gonna get everything. Okay. Not bad. So I think I'm just gonna set it up in the middle of the shop. But this is it. I'm gonna move it over this way, and then I'm gonna clean that side of the rail. I'm gonna get everything cleaned up. I need to level it too before I start doing this. So the main thing today is I'm gonna get it leveled. So that's pretty much it. Looks like it's already got THC height control. It's already reading that, even though it's not hooked up. It's not wired here as well, so I need to wire that up. We'll get into the plasma cutter. I need to run to Harbor Freight. So on my plasma cutter, it comes with an internal air filter, so I technically don't need one. Air dryer, technically. But this is relatively cheap, but it's definitely more of an expensive one compared to the eBay and Amazons. I think it was almost 500 bucks. So what I'm gonna do is go to Harbor Freight here now they're open. I'm gonna plumb in a air filter there, and then I'll plumb that and I'll run it out, and then I'll hook it up to the plasma cutter so it'll be filtered twice, and then we should be good for airflow. I'm gonna get the rest of the rails cleaned up. This is actually the first time I've even plugged it in. I didn't do much yesterday, so I'm gonna get it leveled. I got some work to do. I'm gonna get something cut today, so we're gonna click go to work 0 and see what happens. Okay, so it's 0 is there. So yeah, pretty sweet. I mean, it's basically the XR, so it's probably about almost a $4,000 package I picked up for 1,300 bucks. So I'm excited to try it. As you can see, I'm trying to keep the garage cleared out so I can have, I like to have at least one car. I'm gonna park a Mustang in here over the winter, but I'm already out of room again. So this is like a 250 square foot, I think. So I definitely need a bigger shop, but I'm trying to make it work. So I would like to have all my fab metal working stuff on this wall, just because that's where the power is here and here. So, and it's closer to the door, so I can exhaust out faster. So that's going to be the setup. More than likely, I'm going to have to take this shelf and either move it over, or I'm going to have to move these over and scoot these down, which I'm really not looking forward to. But anyways, my welder should be in on Tuesday. I got some new wire. Basically just trying to burn up my Harbor Freight wire. You can see some of the flux core wire welds I've done. I've gotten a little bit better. I turned the heat down. So not bad. Couple beads on there, not bad. I think it's pretty solid. Welded up the exhaust on the F-150. Been holding up no problem. So it's doing pretty good. And there's a little test piece I did. This is gonna be, I'm gonna end up welding up my my exhaust for the turbo system. So I'd say not bad. Not bad. I've come a long way, and I'm gonna keep working at that. But I'm super excited to get on this thing here, man. I'm ready to cut me some stuff. So I'm gonna get everything set up and cleaned up, prepped up, and then I do got some sheet metal I've been cutting, but I got a small piece here, so I'm gonna cut something today. So, all right, thanks for watching.